Our next guest on Illinois Lawmakers is Deputy House Republican Leader Norine Hammond of Macomb. Leader, good to have you back on Illinois Lawmakers.
Great to see you, Jack. Thank you.
You're one of the lead budgeteers for the House Republicans, and we've been watching. The budget was originally set for about $52.7 billion by Governor Pritzker a few months ago. How is that budget proposal working out now? What are you seeing as far as the Republicans are going?
So, of course, within our caucus, we have frequent discussions on the budget and the priorities, and also what the shared priorities are between House Republicans, House Democrats, and our colleagues in the other chamber as well. So those discussions, unfortunately, are just within our caucus. We haven't been privy to any budget conversations with any of the other budgeteers or been invited to any of those meetings if they're happening.
And I was just talking to Senator Sue Rezin. She said that in her Senate caucus, they're just now starting to hear the negotiations getting underway. And there's a new wrinkle on this. There's fresh reporting from Capital News, Illinois, that Deputy Governor Andy Manar has sent out a memo to state agency heads that if about $1 billion in new revenues aren't found for this new budget, there will be somewhere in the order of $800 million in cuts that agencies might have to experience in the fiscal 25 fiscal year.
And it's not a surprise, Jack, that memo has gone out because the governor's introduced budget included about $1 billion in revenue that would require some statutory changes. There are increases, tax increases on businesses. Also a proposed shift from the road fund of $175 million to supplant RTA and Metra and those services up in the urban area. So without those statutory changes, and it's my understanding that there is quite a bit of pushback from all members, not all members, but all parties, against those enhancements and statutory changes.
It's interesting because the Democrats have supermajorities in both houses, and it doesn't look at this point like they're all on the same page.
No, absolutely not. I think there are lots of push for what their particular interests are versus what someone else's particular interests are. And as we know, that becomes a Christmas tree, and the revenue needs just become greater and greater.
That's the old saying around here. The Christmas tree gets more and more ornaments on it than it falls over under its own weight. As you look at the proposals that are out there, are any of these non-starters, or do they have any promise of Republican votes at this point?
Well, certainly the increased taxes on businesses for Republicans are always non-starters. And for my district, and certainly those of us that represent central and downstate communities, the switch from the road fund, the transfer of $175 million out of the road fund that several years ago we put in a lockbox, if you will, so that we didn't use it for things that were not related to road. Now they will argue that Metra and RTA are certainly, and PACE are certainly road issues, but not for many of us in central and downstate.
And there's that proposal out there to actually create a new agency that combines Chicago Transit Authority, Metra, and PACE, which deals with folks with disabilities. Is that being greeted with any enthusiasm here?
Really and truly, that has been a discussion non-starter for us because of the transfer out of the road fund.
And of course, the mayor of Chicago was here this week asking for another $1 billion for Chicago public schools.
Yes, yes. And obviously didn't find the time to meet with our leader, Leader McCombie, but did find the time to meet with the other three leaders. So I think that speaks volumes right there.
As we count down to May 24th, that's kind of an arbitrary deadline. Do you think we're going to go past that past Memorial Day?
Well, you know, I never say never. There are a lot of folks that are very focused on May 24th for one reason or another. We do have on our calendar supplemental days for budget discussions if needed, and we will see how the discussions go within the next couple of weeks and who all is invited to that table.
Deputy House Republican Leader Norine Hammond of Macomb, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much. Good to be with you.